So there is now a second affidavit.
No, this is not. This is more of a statement summarizing more or less.
No,
And
but
putting into context.
That will be converted into a sworn statement because you are under oath right now.
Okay, that's all. That's all.
So
right.
what's the difference between the first affidavit and your second statement?
It only put it into context, Your Honor, the decision, because the affidavit is more of a narrative, Your Honor, of events.
So it supplements.
It supplements, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Chair, but before he delivers
And let me-
his
to answer-
opening statement, I just would like to get an answer,
Yes, Your
instant answer from my question.
The instant answer, Your Honor, is that starting July or even earlier than that, we are already seeing the rise of price of sugar and also the diminishing supply of domestic sugar, Your Honor. And as an official of the Department of Agriculture, I am monitoring all these developments, and I'm very concerned that prices are going up. And just like in other commodities, prices are going up, and we in the department are being pressured also to do something, Your Honor. So we presented the briefer. We gave the President a briefer mid-July, Your Honor, already alerting of the diminishing supply of sugar and also the rising price of sugar, Your Honor. So SRA indicated in their data that we only have a supply of sugar of up to the end of August. So the private sector were also pushing for more supply of sugar. We have dialogue with them. We consulted the millers, the refiners, and the planters, and they were all unanimous in proposing that we go into 300,000 importation, Your Honor. So these are all documented. The sugar order was not decided in one day. It went through a process of consultation and discussion with many stakeholders. We base it on data, Your Honor, and that the pressure to come up with to supplement the supply, local supply, was really there, Your Honor. So if you can imagine, Your Honor, you're given the authority. I was given the authority under a memorandum last July 15, 2022, which put me in a bind, Your Honor, because if I don't act, I could be reprimanded or something like that. But if I also act, that's also the risk, Your Honor. So I decided that based on that authority and having briefed the President on August 1 during our meeting in Malacanang, as indicated by the Honorable Executive Secretary, and also coming from feedback from the meeting of the Executive Secretary with Administrator Sarapica, Board Member Valderrama, and also the President on August 4, wherein Administrator Sarapica was directed by the President to submit a sugar order, a sugar importation program, which he communicated to me, Your Honor, on August 5, which the Executive Secretary also admitted that it was sent to him directly by Administrator Sarapica, and which I also communicated through memorandum to the President, and then with subsequent follow-up, but getting no reply, and considering the urgency of the situation on sugar, which we now feel, Your Honor, because you see, Your Honor, even if we approve sugar order number 4, now it will take us at least 1 month before the supply will arrive at the earliest, Your Honor. So all those situations, Your Honor.
Yusek, I think you're now lecturing Senator De La Rosa. Ang tinatanong lang niya, yes or no, and then thereafter you proceed with your supplemental affidavit. Para ano tayo, concise. Maliligaw
was
tayo nito,
asked me-
maliligaw tayo.
Yes,
Yes,
I would
Your
like to restate my question, Yusek, no? Sabi mo, authorized ka, pumirma. Therefore, kina-counter mo yung... but before I ipagpatuloy ko yon, I would like to express my appreciation sa iyong ginawa that you voluntarily resign from your post. That was a very gentlemanly act coming from you. But just to get to the bottom of this, please answer my question. Parang lumalabas sa sinasabi mo na you are authorized. Therefore, you are contradicting the statement of Malacanang that sugar order number 4 is illegal. You are not authorized to sign according to them.
As per the July 15, 2022 memorandum from the Executive Secretary, as authorized by the President, Your Honor, it is very clear, if I may read, and I think that was also cited by the Honorable Risa Ontiveros.
Yusek, no need for that. We have
Yeah.
copies of that. That has been all
that-
over. Yes
that
or
is
no yung tanong, and then
yes.
thereafter yung supplemental affidavit mo na meron kang gustong i-clarify.
That is the basis of my signing, Your Honor.
So you mean to say you have the authority to sign sugar order number 4? Yes or no?
With good conscience, Your Honor, that was my basis in signing. Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
I think, Senator De La Rosa, your 5 minutes is now 10 minutes. Senator Estrada will...
I think my 5 minutes, Your Honor, was, Mr. Chairman, is for questioning, not including the answer. The answer was very long. Can I be given...
you are arguing with me. Senator.
Sorry,
I will.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
I will,
I just would like to yield to Senator Jingo Estrada.
Yes, thank you.
Just a follow-up question in relation to the line of questioning of Senator De La Rosa. Mr. Sebastian, did you talk or approach the President before you signed SO number 4?
I did not have that chance, Your Honor.
Did you not even call him or make an appointment with the President before you signed SO4? Because I have this document, SO number 4. You signed, your signature appears, you signed in, above the name of the President.
I signed for the Secretary of Agriculture, Your Honor, who is
Yes.
also the chair of SRA.
You signed in behalf of the Secretary of Agriculture, which is the President himself. Am I correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Why did you not ask permission from the President?
I base it on the authority that was given to me in good faith, Your Honor,
Authority given to you by whom?
by that memo on July 15,
By the Executive Secretary?
2022.
By the Executive
Secretary as authorized by the President.
Yes. Did you
Your
talk to the Executive Secretary before signing this in behalf of the President?
Honor. I sent the memorandum on August 5, Your Honor, and as also mentioned by the Executive Secretary, I texted him on a Sunday of that the following Sunday.
So he did not reply. Am I correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
He did not reply, but you still signed it
In my
without
affidavit,
any permission coming from the President himself.
that is correct, Your Honor. In my affidavit,
You shouldn't have signed the
Your
SO
Honor,
number 4 without the approval of the President.
There is also in that memorandum, Your Honor, that whatever I do can be considered regular unless disapproved or approbated by the President, Your Honor. And that is exactly what the President did when I informed him personally on August 10, 2022, Your Honor, when I reported to him that we have approved the 300,000 metric tons importation for sugar, and he disapproved that my action, Your Honor, and also the importation. So I immediately conveyed that to Administrator Sarapica, and Administrator Sarapica also did revoke remove the publication of that special order, sugar order number 4, Your Honor.
But I still believe that you should have asked for the clearance of the president, because your authority to act as chairman of the board emanated from the president. Am I correct?
I was acting in good faith and because of the urgency of the matter, Your Honor. But with full sense also, Your Honor, that it can be disapproved and reprobated by the President.
Senator Estrada, with just a 1 minute direction from the chair. Will the good committee secretary provide all the 5 members in this elevated platform the thick folders? Because I see now a lot of staff members are having that thick folders. That should be provided to the members of this committee. Dapat bigyan din kami rito. Ito yung tinatanong ni Senator Estrada, wala kaming kopya. Can you provide us with 5 more copies here, including the Senate President? Yung mga senator sa baba, bigyan nyo rin. Pero kami, walang kopya dito. Senator Estrada, you still have the floor.
I'm done, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Estrada. So,
Mr. Chair?
Yes, I will again reiterate the firing order. After Senator De La Rosa, the Senate President will be propounding a few questions directed to Yusek Sebastian. Thereafter, it's the turn of Senator Estrada. Tapos na siya. Not yet. That was just an interjection. And then we go to Senator Tulfo, and then Senator Robin Padilla, and the Minority Leader. Will that suffice the impending query of Senator Hontiveros, or
Mr. Chair, when will this representation be able to propound questions?
after the Senate President? That's the second
Thank you,
round that
Mr.
I
Chair.
mentioned. So ulitin ko po, Senator De La Rosa, are you done? So may we recognize now the Senate President?
Maraming salamat po, our dear Chairperson, Senator Tolentino. We are conducting this hearing to see if we have any malfeasance, usurpation of authority, or what have you, illegal acts identified under the Graft and Corrupt Practices Law, Mr. Chairman, particularly on this issue on SO4. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, first of all, at the onset of my statement, say that Yusek Sebastian is a well-respected member of the agri community. I just came from Los Baños celebrating the 100 years of UP Ranchers Club. Ako po ay member ng rodeo team dyan. At lahat ng kausap ko po doon, kaibigan niya po, si Yusek Sebastian, has nothing but high praise for the gentleman. So I feel that the conduct of the Yusek on this particular issue was not his and his alone. That's why my question, Your Honors, is sino po talaga umudyok sa'yo na kailangan po natin mag-import? I mean, you're new to the industry, Your Honor. You're new to the department. Am I correct? You're less than 1 year in the department? You're just a few months old, no? Is that correct, Yusek?
Your Honor, I've been with the Department of Agriculture. You remember, Your Honor, I was executive director of the Philippine Rice Research Institute, and you visited one time
Okay,
in rice.
because I only have 5 minutes before my chairman might
I just
cut me off.
rejoined. I
You
just
are the Senate
rejoined.
President. You have the
I rejoined in 2021, Your Honor, the government service after working abroad, Your Honor.
Yes, so you're not a newcomer when it comes to helping the agri sector. And actually, we welcomed your appointment at the time when you were newly appointed once again as a member of the Department of Agriculture. However, Your Honor, you're new to the industry. I believe you're more of a livestock, poultry,
Rice, Your
and
Honor.
rice.
Rice.
That's correct. So you're new to the sugar industry. So there must have been external factors to convince you to import this or to sign sugar importation order. Was it the administrator, his co-administrator, his members of the board, who somebody had to convince you? You cannot just sign the order without them showing you the data, particularly on the lack of sugar supply. Am I correct in saying that it was the administrator and the board, or who in the board convinced you about this sugar order number 4?
Your Honor, you mentioned that I work in the agriculture sector, in the R&D specifically, and I'm very, for me, Your Honor, data is very important for me in making decision. So I studied the data that was presented to me by SRA. We also did our own data analysis in the Department of Agriculture, and it convinced me, Your Honor, because I always make my decision also based on those things, that there is really a big problem when it comes to the supply of sugar, that we have to act or do something, Your Honor.
Okay,
So-
Yusek, you're saying that you're utilizing the data.
Data.
I have with me here this document coming from the SRA insiders themselves. The data is very clear. I do not know if they hid this from you. I do not know if you're familiar. The data is very clear. Under the former sugar order number 3, which they allowed the importation of 200,000 metric tons, there is still a balance of almost 126,000 metric tons that have not been released. This is as of August 12, that have not been released yet. So what shortage are we talking about? Di nga nare-release itong asukal na ito. And, if I may be allowed, may we ask the nandiyan na, ready na ba yung aking tao? Papakita ko lang sa inyo, yung bodega na parang mga dagat ng asukal. It's just a sea of sugar that have been apprehended in the last few days in bodegas all over the country. Please go ahead there, Jess. Pakita mo. Yan. Asukal yan. Dahan-dahan lang. Yan, galing sa container. Ayan pa. Yan, parang dagat ng asukal. Sea of sugar. These are container vans. They have sugar hidden in them. Ayan, Sec. That's not made up. I'm not making this up. That was from the BOC. ISAP. The last few days. Different bodegas from Quezon City, Laguna, Bulacan, Pampanga. Sige, may video pa. Saan ba yung video? Gusto mo pakita pa namin yung video? Is this a shortage? Is this the shortage that you're saying? Your honors in the DA. Ayan. Ano yan? Are we pretending that that's not in existence? Is that being hoarded for price manipulation? Oh, let's show the video, if I may be allowed by my dear colleagues. 1 minute lang yun. Just can we show the video I sent you, if it is ready? Pinasukan nila. Meron pang Mr. Chairman, meron pang mga makina na ililipat nila from imported sugar to locally manufactured sugar para to escape the taxes. Importation taxes, pati yung VAT payment ng VAT, kasi syempre yung local sugar, may preferential treatment yun. VAT exempt. Diyos ko po. Your honors. So you're talking about data, Your Honor. This is the data I have from the SRA. Meron pang asukal na naiwan sa bodega. Meron pang parating na almost 30,000 metric tons. Tapos meron tayong laman sa bodega, Yusek. How can you explain that? So what shortage are we talking about? That's why I'm saying, Yusek, no, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Kasi nga, you're new to the industry. I am asking you now, sino talaga ang nag-push sa'yo, nagsabi sa'yo, Yusek, we need to do this? Was it the butlers? Was it the stakeholders? Was it one of those individuals in the SRA? Was it a particular importer? Or was it just your own decision? Because I can't believe it was just your own decision, Your Honor, because again, you're a stickler for data. I have the data right here, which contradicts what you said. I have the pictures of the toneladang 100,000+ metric tons of sugar in the bodegas. So, what is it, Yusek?
Your Honor, you mentioned we have 123,000 metric tons. Our monthly consumption for raw sugar, Your Honor, is 170,000 metric tons per month. And approximately 85,000 metric tons per month for refined sugar, Your Honor. So 123 can last for how many days, Your Honor? And based from the data that we have, SRA and DA, Your Honor, we will need about 212,000, we will have a deficit of 212,000 metric tons for raw sugar, Your Honor, even if the milling has started in September and October. It is only in November that we will be able to produce enough raw sugar to meet our demand. For refined sugar, Your Honor, we have a deficit including, for example, including the SO number 3, Your Honor, because of the demand that we have a deficit of about 319,000 metric tons, Your Honor, up to December, because we don't produce enough refined sugar. So, Your Honor, if you see those data, it is very compelling, Your Honor, that, and if you look at the prices, Your Honor, prices do not just go up because of hoarding. There is hoarding when there is a tight supply, Your Honor. And there is smuggling also, Your Honor, if there is a
Your
tight
Honor,
supply, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman, precisely the hoarding is the price manipulation. You're saying there's a tight supply, but we have supply. Yan ang mahirap sa DA po. I'm with due respect to my dear friends in the DA. With due respect, I'm an agriculturist by education and by profession. Kaya mahal ko kayo. Pero parang business as usual, hindi na wawala yung hoarding. Frustration po namin ni Senator Villar, wala pong nakakasuhan pa sa illegal smuggling at hoarding. Hanggang na yun, wala naman tayo nakikita. Pero yan, nakita na po natin. They're shouting supply, release that sugar. Hindi naman yan gumagalaw eh. Now, my point, Your Honor, according to the industry, because I'm also part of the industry, Bukidnon is the second largest, by the way, Your Honor, Bukidnon is the second largest producer of sugar next to Negros Occidental. So maraming apektadong magsasaka pag bumagsak ang presyo ng asukal dahil sa sobrang importation. Kaya, ang sabi ng mga stakeholders, and we visited the President the other day, complete po yan, Unifed, Panay Fed, Luzon Fed, they were all there, the federations, that if there will be a need to import, you're only looking at less than 150,000, 100 to 150,000. Why? Nag-umpisa na po ang Negros Occidental ng milling. So mangyayari, pagpasok nito ng October ng 300,000 metric tons as your plan under SO4, nagkamiling na, nagkaletse-letse na dahil meron na tayong local production, meron tayong napakaraming imported rice at sugar from Thailand. Bagsak na bagsak ang presyo. Ang kawawa dyan ang mga magsasaka. I believe you were misinformed on the amount because I was told that the stakeholders were not informed. I do not, that is the problem, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, when you say, oh, we had notified the stakeholders. Sino-sino yun? Dalawang tao? Tatlong tao? May Sugar Alliance eh. Hindi po kayo nagtawag ng Sugar Alliance meeting. And correct me if I'm wrong, the deputy administrators were not consulted about SO number 4 until it was signed, until it was prepared and pushed. Are the deputy administrators here? There. Can you please come to the with the permission, of course, of our chairman, and please confirm that you were not informed about SO number 4, deputy
With the
administrators.
indulgence of Senate President, may we inquire from the committee secretary if the gentleman approaching the middle area has been sworn, and not yet. Attorney, can you administer the oath?
Yes, Your Honor.
Deputy Administrator. Please proceed.
Can you please raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear and affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Please be seated. Mr. Senate President, you may proceed.
Thank you, and thank you for allowing me to extend my time, Your Honor. This is very important, as I have pertinent details of what had transpired, and I'd like to share it with this committee. While awaiting SRA Administrator Serafika, we will just like to put on record and ask the deputy administrators. I was told by insiders that you were not informed about this plan on SO4, sugar order number 4, until after it was consummated, which is not part of protocol. I believe it is management first who comes out with the recommendation to the SRA administrator and the board, and after which it is duly approved. Is that correct, Your Honor?
I affirm and confirm that I, the Deputy Administrator for Regulation Department, along with the two other Deputy Administrators, one for the Admin and Finance and the other for Research and Development and Extension, as well as the Legal Manager who is in front of me, and the other managers of the Sugar Regulatory Administration have not been consulted on this SO3.
Mr. Senator,
Your Honor.
Can you identify the personalities you mentioned, the person in front of you who failed to inform you? Pwede mong banggitin yung pangalan? Hindi ka in-inform nino?
The Sugar Board did not communicate with us, Your Honor, as far as the crafting and the issuance of Sugar Order Number 4, Your Honors.
It's Sugar Order Number 3 na-inform kayo dati.
We were part of the issuance and crafting and processing of the Sugar Order Number 3, Your Honors.
Senate President, you have the witness.
So do you feel that it is not proper on Sugar Order Number 4, what transpired, that it was not proper procedure? Dapat nasabihan dapat kayo? Para makabigay naman po kayo ng opinion ninyo kasi kayo ang nasa regulation, kayo ang nasa legal, yung mga deputy administrators.
According to our SRA governance manual for under the GCG rules, Your Honor, the management is defined as the administrator, as composed of the administrator, the Sugar Board, and all managers, Your Honor. And as by good practice in our quality management system, would require that all endorsements before the Sugar Board's approval must pass through and be routed to all the managers and the deputy administrators prior to endorsement officially to the Sugar Board, Your Honors.
So you confirm this is not proper protocol?
This is not in accordance with our rules, therefore it's not proper protocol, Your Honor.
Nagulat po kayo nung nangyari po ito? Ano ang sentimento ng ating mga deputy administrators at the time?
Well, all of us we were not surprised that there was a brewing attempt to, efforts to have an SO4, but we did not know about it officially, Your Honors.
Madam President, if
Yes,
I may
please,
add another
Your Honor.
question. Can I have your name again? Medyo malayo kasi.
Attorney Guillermo Tejeda III, Your Honor.
Are you aware of any board resolution? Are you aware of any management action authorizing a certain administrator, Serafica, to act for and in behalf of the board?
We are not aware, and I am not personally aware of that, Your Honor.
Sebastian, meron bang management action na pwedeng kumilos mag-isa si Mr. Serafica on behalf of the board? Mr. Sebastian.
Administrator Serapika acting on behalf of the board? No, Your Honor.
So, walang ganon.
To my knowledge, Your Honor, there's no such thing.
Paano mamaya kung mapatunayan kung meron ganon?
I'm not aware of that, Your Honor. I'm new to the board also. You see, I was only designated July 15, 2022, Your Honor. So
Give me some time and I will provide the contrary. Go ahead, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. President, my dear Chairperson, I would just withhold further questions until former SRA Administrator Serafika arrives, because my questions will be, of course, asked and propounded to him. And I think I'd just like to thank the Deputy Administrators for your candor and truthfulness in the issue. And also to Yusek Sebastian. Yusek, marami kang kaibigan sa agriculture industry. First of all, I salute you for taking responsibility and resigning right away with your irrevocable resignation. Pero sana, let's clear this mess up. We come to the bottom of all of this and come up with the truth on who really pushed for this, which organization, which group, which individual, and if there's a violation of law with this SO number 4. Sayang lang po, I would have hoped that, we had practiced better judgment at we could have used you in the department. But nevertheless, without fear or favor, this committee has to find out the truth. So yun lang po, Mr. Chairman, I'll just wait the arrival of former SRA Administrator Serafika.
Thank you, Mr. Senate President. And for the record and for the information of my other colleagues here, present here physically are representatives coming from Coca-Cola Philippines, Attorney Tanyada, and likewise present is the president of the Philippine Food Processors and Exporters Association. Can you raise your hands para makilala kayo? And then we have another person in attendance, Mr. John Paul Antes, Senior Sugar Production Regulation Officers. And considering that you have your tick folders in front of you, you are allowed to shoot questions on any of the personalities I mentioned a while ago. The representative of the minority leader is recognized. Senator Hontiveros, Your Honor, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr.
have,
Chairman.
4 minutes now and 59 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wouldn't presume to represent the minority leader. I do have some questions sana po para kay ES, pero i-reserve ko na lang po kapag nakabalik na sila sa isang susunod na hearing. So my follow-up questions for today, Mr. Chair, will be for former USEC Sebastian. USEC, nung pong pulong nung August 4, 2022, nung binanggit yung panukala na mag-import ng 300,000 metric tons, ano po yung sinabi or sinagot ni ES?
Your Honor, I was not present in that meeting on August 4, 2022. It was only reported to me later by Administrator Serapica.
Ano pong inulat sa inyo ni Administrator Serafica? Kung anong sinabi or sinagot ni ES dun sa proposal na yon?
No details, Your Honor. The only, in my affidavit, Your Honor, I was only informed that they have a meeting. On August 4, Your Honor, I was called by ES Rodriguez to inform Administrator Serapica to proceed to Malacanang. And after that, Your Honor, I was informed by Administrator Serapica that they have a meeting together with ES and through Zoom with the President and the then newly appointed board member Valderrama. No other details, Your Honor, was given to me, except the following day when I was sent an email by Administrator Serapica that he was called to Malacanang August 4 and ordered by the President to submit a sugar order program, a sugar importation program, Your Honor, which he transmitted to me during that day, Your Honor. And again, it was also the basis of my writing a memo to the President, Your Honor. I think it's in my affidavit, Your Honor, the details.
So we can conclude, former USEC, na sa pagitan ng 2 araw na iyon, August 4 hanggang August 5, kung kailangan i-direct kayo na mag-submit ng sugar importation plan, at the very least, live pa yung proposal na mag-import ng 300,000 metric tons. Hindi pa po na disapprove at that point in time. Yung eventually pumaloob sa SO4.
The 300,000, Your Honor, has been circulating already for some time, Your Honor, because
Right.
there was a stakeholder consultation on July 29, and then they also made endorsement. These different stakeholders, they made endorsement on the amount, and more or less, I think if you review the different press releases that has been circulating in the industry, Your Honor.
Salamat, Isek. Dun po sa lumabas na slide ni ES, yung isang slide nila, lumabas po yung memorandum kung saan may proposal, bukod pa po sa 300,000, may panukala mag-import ng dagdag pang 100 metric tons. So tama po ba na on top of the 300 or 100,000 metric tons rather. So tama po ba na on top of the 300,000 metric tons pa iyon, yung 100,000 metric tons additional? Tama po ba yon?
If approved by the President, Your Honor.
Yes,
that would be
if approved
additional.
by the President. So proposal nga po.
Let me
Yes.
clarify, Your Honor, that the 100,000 was a suggestion, Your Honor. But PITC came back later that they can only handle 50,000, Your Honor.
50,000. Sige po. Pero nung ang suggestion ay 100,000 metric tons, ano yung justification noon? Why was the initial suggestion bago pinababa ng PITC sa 50,000 metric tons? Bakit po yung initial na mungkahi, dagdag sa 300,000 metric tons, ay 100,000 metric tons?
Before finalizing the memorandum, Your Honor, I have a conversation with PITC. And it was suggested, Your Honor, that PITC would like a rolling stock, something like that, replenishable. But I told PITC that this is not possible because usually the memo will only be for a fixed volume. So I suggested that if we can increase it so that you can use that. But later they came back, Your Honor. But I have already sent the memo, Your Honor, by the time. But the original recommendation of SRA, Your Honor, is also 50,000. Your Honor.
I see you, Sec. Yun namang pong mga bodega na nakikita natin, no? Yung 126 or 123,000 metric tons na yan mula sa Sugar Order 3, yun po ba ay pupunta sa end users? Ibig sabihin, ito ba yung mga ibebenta sa mga supermarket?
I don't have good knowledge of SO number 3, Your Honor, but from what I know, it's more for industrial users, Your Honor.
I see. And okay, so hindi ito yung mapupunta sa end users. Hindi po ito yung mabibili namin sa mga supermarket. Are you gesturing, Yusek, for another resource person to answer?
Yes, Your
I'll
Honor.
ask
I think
Mr.
Deputy
Chair?
Administrator Tijada, I think, has more knowledge on Sugar Order number 3, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You can answer, Deputy Administrator.
Yes, sir. Well, Your Honor, the 200,000 metric tons under Sugar Order number 3 is exclusively for the industrial users. All of the 200,000, Your Honor, metric tons.
So, pati po yung nakikita pa natin, Deputy Administrator, pati po yung nakikita natin sa mga bodega hanggang ngayon, yung 123 or 126,000 metric tons under SO3, industrial po ito, bound for industrial use.
Subject to verification, Madam. First off, in Subic, the 7,000 metric tons inspected and intercepted by the Bureau of Customs were already cleared by the Office of the Deputy Administrator on behalf of the SRA that it is covered by pertinent clearance for release of imported goods. Those intercepted in Batangas were also covered. We already cleared that it is also covered by SO3 clearance. We are still verifying if those raided in Manila, the 3 warehouses, were part of SO3, but what we can confirm are that the owners of these 3 warehouses are registered under Sugar Order number 3. That in Pampanga, the raided warehouse, we already confirmed that it is not owned by an international trader nor a participant of SO3, and the warehouse is not also registered with SRA, which is a violation of our existing rules. And that in Pampanga, in Bulacan, the 49,000 or so, subject to verification by the Bureau of Customs, is locally sourced as per our initial investigation. And the owner is not a trader. The owner is also not a participant, therefore, of SO3. And the warehouse is also not registered with the SRA.
Salamat, Deputy Administrator. So, yung sa Batangas po, ilang libong metro tonelada yon?
Yes, Your Honor. As per my conversation this morning with our licensing and monitoring division of SRA, in Batangas would only be accounting for some 200,000 bags, Your Honor, and that
Which is how many metric tons, sorry?
times 20, Your Honor.
Okay.
Divide by 20. So that's only 200,000 metric 200,000 bags.
Bags.
50 kilo bag. That in Pampanga would only number around less than 200 imported sugar but subject to verification.
Less than 200,000 bags.
No, in Pampanga, Your Honor, it's only 200 bags.
200 bags. Hindi ako ganun kabilis mag-multiply. Pero out of yung tinatanong ko pong 123,000 metric tons, yung 200,000, ano ba yon? Yung 7,000 metric tons sa Subic, sabi nyo, verified na for industrial yon under SO3. Tama po?
Yes.
And then,
yes po.
And then, meron pa kayong 200,000 bags for verification sa Batangas. Meron kayo sa Manila, hindi nyo binigay yung amount. May 200 bags lamang sa Pampanga na not under SO3. May 49,000 bags sa Bulacan na hindi rin under SO3. So we can surmise na dun sa 123,000 metric tons na posibleng meron doon na bound for end users through the supermarkets, pero meron ding mula doon na for industrial use. Tama po ba?
Yes po, ma'am. What we can confirm is that all those verified to be under SO3 cannot be sold to the local market because SO3 mandates that it's only dedicated to the industrial users.
Yes.
If I may po, just an update.
With the indulgence of Senator Risa,
Yes, Mr. Chair.
You have less than 30 seconds to go. We recognize the arrival of Senator Amy Marcos. Please proceed for you can answer the last question, Yusek.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And then I have a brief manifestation after the Deputy Administrator. Yes, sir. Unless the former Yusek Sebastian, Mr. Chair, would like to make a closing answer to my questions thus far.
What was the question?
Well,
Sebastian, with the indulgence of Senator Risa, we have
Yes,
a
Mr.
copy
Chair.
of your affidavit
Yes, Your
dated
Honor.
today, August 22. Kanina lang bang umaga yan?
21, Your Honor.
22. 22 ka nag-out dun sa notaryo. So, saan ka nakakita ng notaryo kanina bago pumunta
Hindi.
rito? O, pinost date na lang, dahil linggo.
Oh, Your Honor. I think it was submitted yesterday, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, since the USEC would not wish to reply to my last questions, then I'll just make a final manifestation dito po sa line of questioning ko so far, dahil nga po yung karamihan ng mga tanong ko ay para sana kay ES. Sa susunod na hearing na itatakda ng chair, kung kailan nila imbitahin si ES, magtatanong po ako tungkol sa SRA not being the agency with inspection and visitorial powers to pursue smugglers and hoarders. Pangalawa po, mga tanong tungkol sa parang kulang na kulang ang intel ng Malacanang sa mga isinagawang raids. Pangatlo, doing a fast forward, ano yung magiging epekto nitong aktual na epekto nitong mga raids sa presyo ng asukal kung talagang maibababa sa at least 70 pesos per kilo at kung paano kung may mahanap na smuggled at hino-hoard pero konti lang pala, again, anong overall na impact nito sa presyo. And lastly, Mr. Chair, on yung epekto nitong lahat sa ating mga sugar planters, lalo na po yung mga maliliit. Binalita po kasi ng isang mayor sa ANC na 13 sa 26 na barangay nila ay tumigil na sa pagtatanim ng tubo, nag-shift na po sa palay. So, one thing so far, at least to this representation, Mr. Chair, is clear, while we certainly need to have cheap sugar, it should not be at the expense of our farmers. I reiterate my call na bigyan ng agarang ayuda ang magsasaka. Lalo pa sumirit pataas ang presyo ng urea. So our producers need all the help they can get, all sizes of producers, Mr. Chair, at lalong-lalo na po yung mga maliliit. So for now, Mr. Chair, I will suspend
Thank you,
my
Senator Aldeveros.
questioning.
Thank
Salamat
you.
po, Mr. Chair.
Next to propound a question or questions would be Senator Estrada. Thereafter, it will be the turn of Senator Rafi Tulfo. And after the questioning of Senator Tulfo, we will suspend. This committee will suspend for 10 minutes to give way to pave the way for the reorganization of the Commission on Appointments. Thereafter, we will be reconvening, hopefully with the presence of former Administrator Serafica. So in the meantime, you can have your lunch break during that interim period. Senator Estrada, you're recognized for your 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, Senator Revilla here.
Senator Villa, you have an interjection?
Yes. Yeah, just one question. When will be my turn? Aabot pa ba o wala na?
Aabot po yan. Aabot po yan. Tatapusin lang namin yung physically present and then kayo na po yung unless Senator Estrada would like to give way to have you ask questions now.
No. Go ahead. No problem.
Senator Revilla, I will give you 3 minutes of my time. I'm just going to ask one or two
Just wait
questions.
for my turn. Thank you very much, Senator Estrada.
Kundi, bukas ka pa.
Gentlemen.
Senator Estrada, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Sebastian, if I ask you direct questions, can you can you answer me directly?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, this is answerable by yes or no. Was there really a shortage of sugar?
Yes, Your Honor.
What data or formula were used to arrive at the 300 metric tons allocation?
We have the computation, Your Honor, but to come up with 300,000, there was also a stakeholder consultation because if you look at the total deficit, Your Honor, it's actually bigger, but you cannot import all of that, otherwise we will have oversupply, Your Honor.
The Senate President has shown videos and photos of the warehouses of sugar here in Metro Manila and in the provinces. Hindi pa ba sapat yun?
Your Honor, as I have mentioned a while ago, we need about 170,000 metric tons, Your Honor, 170,000 metric tons of raw sugar every month, and 85,000 metric tons of refined sugar every month, Your Honor.
Every month?
Every month. So if you have 123,000, or let's just make it 186,000 metric tons that arrive under SO3, that can only last for how many months, Your Honor? And that is the one that was imported is for industrial use, not for home consumption, Your Honor.
So in sugar order number 3, was this already implemented? The importation?
Your Honor, if I may, it is implemented and it is ongoing, in fact, Your Honor.
Excuse me?
It is ongoing.
Ongoing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Sebastian, you haven't answered the question of the Senate President. Sino ba nag-udyok sa inyo? Pumirma? Or did you decide on your own?
Your Honor, there was as I've been emphasizing, there was an urgency of the situation that we are
How
having.
can there be an urgency if you have seen the photos and the videos of the warehouses? And daming asukal.
Your Honor, we are talking about the months of September and October when we have a big deficit for brown sugar, yung parang pambanana Q, and then we have a big deficit for refined sugar up to December, Your Honor. And we are talking about how many months, Your Honor?
In sugar order number 4, section 2, why do you allow the assignment of sugar allocation from one qualified applicant to another?
Can you repeat the question, Your Honor?
In sugar order number 4, section 2, why do you allow the assignment of sugar allocation from one qualified applicant to another?
I am not familiar with the detail of that, Your Honor. Maybe we can ask.
Pumirma ka rito, hindi ka pamilyar. Do you have a copy of the order that you signed?
So the question of Senator Estrada is why are you allowing the assignment of import allocation to another qualified applicant, which is part of your section 2, SO number 4. And try to recall if it is likewise part of SO number 3. You have lawyers here. I think the SRA legal department is here. Di ba makatulong sa'yo?
Yeah, maybe we can ask our legal department, SRA, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your
I
Honors.
will be the one to ask, not you. What's your name? Attorney
Ronald Rimando, Your Honor.
Attorney Rimando, you're under oath. Bakit, tinatanong ni Senator Estrada with his permission, bakit pwedeng i-assign yung sa ibang tao yung allocation?
Number one, Your Honor, it is allowed in the SO4 that the assignment of import allocation is allowed.
Nga ba, why? What's the rationale for this? Yun ang tanong ni Senator Estrada.
If, say, the would-be importer, for whatever reasons, could not do the importation, then he may assign the allocation to another qualified
Qualified member of the
participant, Your
cartel.
Honor.
Paano?
The assignment is allowed, Your Honor, if the assignee is another qualified, is a qualified trader, Your Honor.
Don't you think that is prone to abuses?
I don't think so, Your Honor, because it will still pass through the SRA, Your Honor. The papers and other requirements will pass through the SRA. So there's always a check and balance, Your
May I
Honor.
know what is the reason behind it? Ba't kailangan ipasa pa sa ibang qualified applicants?
Well, the tenor of the SO4 allowing the assignment, Your Honor, is not mandatory.
What do you mean it is not mandatory?
The subject provision, Your Honor, says a qualified participant may assign its import allocation. So it's up to him, Your Honor, whether to assign the import allocation or not. If for whatever reason, say, he could not do the importation because of logistics reason, Your Honor.
So, ang tanong ni Senator Estrada, at yun din, attorney, anong dahilan nito? Kasi tinitingnan ko yung SO number 3. Parang hindi ko nakikita sa SO number 3 yung assign. At hindi ko rin nakikita sa SO number 3 yung, hindi ko nakikita sa SO number 4 yung nakalagay sa SO number 3 yung payment of performance bond. Meron sa SO3, wala sa SO4. So, bakit may mga pagkakaibang ganito? Magkakaiba ba yung shortage? Yun siguro ang gist ng tanong ni Senator Estrada. You answer that, or do you want additional time? You compare SO3 with SO4. I'm sure you've been with the legal department for quite a long period of time and you've been preparing this. So, tanong niya, bakit allowable yung assignment? Yung dinagdag kong tanong, was it also part of SO3? Meaning to say, has this been part of a tradition, a long-standing practice? Tinanong ko rin, why was performance bond not present in SO4 when it is present in SO3? So, if you need more time to answer, the committee will give you time to recollect and refresh your memory. Unless Senator Estrada has further questions.
I can answer it now, Your Honors. Well, the performance bond is present in the SO3, while in the SO4, in being assailed, Your Honor, it's not present. And the absence of that performance bond in SO4, that I could not answer, Your Honor, because I really do not have any personal knowledge or any participation in the SO4, Your Honor. Your Honors.
Thank you. Senator Estrada is excusing himself for a while, so he will continue that line of questioning when it returns. So we can now have Senator Rafi Tulfo before we suspend. Senator Tulfo, you're
Thank you.
recognized. You have your 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. From where I'm sitting, I can see very clearly that Yusek Sebastian is very stressed out. And I don't want to add further to his anxiety by asking hard questions just like my colleagues did. So is it possible, Mr. Chair, if there are people from the Bureau of Customs who are around, and I would rather direct my questions to them because I don't want them to get off the hook, because the Senate President a while ago did say na wala pa raw nakakasuhan sa smuggling ng sugar. So therefore, gusto ko magbato ng katanungan sa kanila tungkol doon sa sinabi ni SP. Are there people
That's a
present
relevant
from the Bureau
question,
of Customs?
Senator Tulfo. May we ask the committee secretariat, are there resource persons from the Bureau of Customs now?
No, Your Honor, none present yet.
Okay.
Were they invited?
No, no. I mean, they can be invited to the next hearing, Your Honor,
For
but
the
but
next
they're not present today. Neither were they invited.
Senator Tulfo, they're not
Okay.
around.
Well, then I have to ask you a question and maybe make a request, Yusek Sebastian. Sorry, you're going to be off. You're going to be. You're not going to like my question, my direct question. To me, you seem to be a very smart guy. Tama? So many people vouch for your character. Marami ako narinig about you, even from SP, Mig Subiri. And I was told na ikaw ay galing sa abroad. At nakapag-aral ho ba kayo sa abroad?
Yes, Your Honor. As a scholar, Your Honor.
Scholar. Okay. Ano pong tinapos niyo po, sir?
I got my PhD from Cornell University, Your Honor.
Wow, PhD, Cornell University sa abroad. Okay. So that means you're a very, very smart guy. Right? So, if you're a smart guy, if I were you, I think it's better, it's high time na sabihin mo na sa amin dito, wag na tayo magpaikot-ikot pa, kung sino yung mga nasa likod mo. Kasi nga po, sir, hindi ka naman po pipirma sa ibabaw ng pangalan ng Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas, sa ibabaw ng kanyang pangalan, kung wala pong may utos sa inyo, kung wala pong nasa likod nyo na malalakas ng mga tao. I think you're just trying to cover up something here. Get the monkey off your back. I think it's about time that you have to confess. I mean, because you're a smart guy, right? Cornell University, PhD, or you're just trying to outsmart us. That's why you don't want to tell us kung sino po yung mga nag-utos sa'yo.
No, Your Honor, there was nobody who pushed me or pressured me on this matter, Your Honor.
Yung pagsasign sa ibabaw ng apelyido ng presidente, sa pangalan ng presidente, yung ba'y gawain ng isang scholar at may PhD sa Cornell University?
No, Your Honor, I signed for the Secretary of Agriculture based on the authority that was given to me on July 15, 2022.
Who gave you the authority, sir?
The authority was, the memo was issued by the Executive Secretary by authority of the President, Your Honor.
Okay, but did you ask the Executive Secretary about that memo to make sure that you can sign on his behalf sa ibabaw pa man din ng kanyang pangalan? Presidente pong pinag-usapan natin po, hindi po yung ordinaryong kawani ng gobyerno.
The memo, Your Honor, states that I can sit as ex officio chair of boards, committees, etc., of any government agency where the Secretary of Agriculture is a member, Your Honor. And the SRA board is one of those boards where the Secretary of Agriculture sits as ex officio, Your Honor. So since the Secretary is the member, and I am representing him more or less, I signed for the Secretary of Agriculture, who is the President of the Republic, Your Honor.
For the Secretary of Agriculture, right? That's what you're saying. But you signed above the name of President Bongbong Marcos.
Yes, with an initial 4, Your Honor.
That's why I'm going back to what I said earlier. Is that an act of a very, very smart person? Because hanga po ako sa inyo, yung credentials niyo po, napaka-impeccable. Okay, di po ba? Now, kung smart po kayo, hindi niyo po gagawin yon. Ang magagawa lang noon, yung pipirma po sa ibabaw ng pangalan ng presidente ay people who are dumb or stupid. And you're not stupid, right? I don't think so. You don't look like stupid to me. You look like a very smart guy. Kaya lang, ayaw mo lang magsalita kasi nga, meron kang pinagtatapang mga grupo o tao. I think yun po observations ko.
Wala ho, Your Honor.
Nakikita ko po yung paa nyo pag ganun-ganun na po, ninervous ka. Sige na po, hindi ko na po dadagdagan yung anxiety ninyo. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sana po, Mr. Chair, sa next hearing, ma-invite po natin yung mga taga-Bureau of Customs. Kasi nga po, Mr. Chair, nakikita ko po, yung mga taga Bureau of Customs, they're very relentless in the fight against smuggling sa sugar and all. And I have to commend them for that. On the other hand, ang tanong, bakit nakalabas yung mga asukal na yon? Yung mga hoarding na tinatawag nila, nakalabas ng pier. Sana, hindi na nakalabas yung kinagawa lang sana ng customs, yung kanilang trabaho. Diba? And then from what I've heard, itong pinaka-latest, yung sugar sa Subic, ay meron palang permit yun. Mr. Chairman, Your Honor. So, dito sumablay ang mga taga Bureau of Customs. Ano bang pangalan nitong Commissioner ng Customs? This guy, he opens his mouth before he would even look at the documents available. He could have asked people in his office mag-provide ng E2M documents from their system para masiguro niya na kung legit ba o hindi yung mga produktong i-rate nila. I think what he did, this guy from Bureau of Customs, para ma-divert yung attention natin. Meron kasi tayong serious attention. Ito na nga yung SO4. Ngayon, para ma-divert yung attention natin, rate sila left and right, bahala na ang Diyos. Para yung ating attention ay mapunta doon sa smuggling versus doon sa SO4 na sino nag-utos kay Yusek Sebastian pumirma. So I would appreciate it really, Mr. Chair, if we could invite a member of the Bureau of Customs, especially this guy, the commissioner, I forgot his name. I would really like to talk to him kasi mukhang mahilig itong magpadalos-dalos. And again, there's nothing wrong na mag-grade siya na mag-grade. Go ahead. Pero dapat pag nag-grade siya, tinatansya niya muna at alam niya kanyang ginagawa para wala naman maabala mga tao, walang napapahiya. Yun na po, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Tulfo. You consume 5 minutes and 15 seconds. So, still within the threshold. As agreed upon, and with the indulgence of our other colleague here, Senator Robin Padilla, this committee will suspend for 10 minutes to pave the way for the reorganization of the Commission on Appointments. In the meantime, you can have your lunch given to you while we also await the arrival of former Administrator Serafica. So without objection, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee is hereby suspended.